Hi, my name is Octavio and today I'm going to show you or explain you what is the Lewis structure. So let's get started. The Lewis structure are diagrams that show the bonding between atoms of a molecules. For completing these diagrams or this Lewis structure, we need to follow two rules that are different, they change. The first one is the octet rule and the second one is the duet rule. So I'm going to explain you what they are first, and then I'm going to show you some examples of how can we complete these rules. So first, the octet rule. This rule says that atoms that tend to gain, lose, or share electrons to have more electrons in their orbital layer. So they lose electrons, so they can have 8 electrons in their orbital layer, more electrons that they have. The duet rule sets that the elements only can contain 2 electrons max in their orbital. And some examples of this duet rule, or that some elements that can make it, are the hydrogen and the lithium. So now I'm going to show you some examples of how we can do these rules. So before we go to the exercises, I need to explain you what are the different type of bonds. First, we need to know what are the bonds. So the bonds are the chemical bonds are the forces that hold atoms together. Electrons in the last layer of the atom are responsible for these bonds between atoms. These electrons are called the valence electrons, which ones are the ones that we are going to see in the next exercises and that I am going to talk you about them. The first type of bond that we have right here is the covalent bond. The covalent bonds are formed by non-metal atoms. Non-metallic atoms cannot transfer or gain electrons between them. They just share their atoms. The next bond or the next type of bond is the polar covalent bond. This happens when two different non-metallic atoms share electrons unequally. One side of the bond is more negative than the other one. The next one is the non-polar covalent bond. This is formed by the union of two identical atoms, and therefore the electronegativity is the same on both sides of the bond. And finally, the last one is the ionic bond. This bond results from the union between a metal and a non-metal atom. These are the strangest type of bond in the chemistry. So now we can go to the exercises. For our first exercise or example of the octet rule, we are going to use the fluorine. As you can see, we have two elements of fluorine here, which one, this number 2 sets that we have a fluorine plus another fluorine. Now we are going to go to our periodic table and we are going to see that fluorine has 7 valence electrons. So we are going to write here our F from fluorine, and we're going to write with dots the valence electrons that the number of dots that of valence electrons that fluorine has. So we're going to put 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. As you can see it, we have 7, and then we need to write to connect the both fluorines. If you remember, we have a fluorine plus another fluorine. So what we are going to do is to write the letter F of fluorine and to put the valence electrons as the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just let me change my marker. I come back from changing it and we're going to continue. And yes, 7. We're going to erase this one and we're going to write it right here with the blue marker. As you can see, we are completing right now the octet rule. But why? If fluorine just have because if you want to complete the octet rule, we need to have 8 valence electrons, but each fluorine just have 7. But this happens because the fluorines are sharing their valence electrons. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the one that the other fluorine is sharing to us, the 8. If we make a circle like this, we have 8 valence electrons, and it is the same at the other side, at the other fluorine. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the number 8. Also we can circle it, but it is not necessary. We have it right here. As you can see, this is how you do the octet rule and how it is correct. Now we are going to do the duet rule with the hydrogen. If we go to our periodic table, we are going to see that the hydrogen just have 1 valence electron. But for this example, we are going to have 2 hydrogens. If we remember in the last one, it is this number 2 tell us that we have a hydrogen plus another hydrogen. So now we are going to represent the duet rule with this hydrogen example. We are going to put it right here, the H. No, I made a mistake. Thought I was playing tic-tac-toe, but not. We have our H from the hydrogen, and the hydrogen just have 1 valence electron, so we are going to put it 1 dot right here. And for the other one, it is going to be our hydrogen right here, and also our blue dot, the electron that they are sharing for making a molecules. And this is how we make the duet rule. As we can see, as I explained you at the beginning, for the duet rule we just need to have 2 valence electrons sharing, so we are completing it right here. So we have 1 valence electron and 2. We complete it right here. It's the same case in the other one, 1 and 2. We can circle it like that, and this is how you do the duet rule. Also, I forgot to tell you that the exercise that you saw were from a non-polar covalent bond. Why? Because these are the same atoms sharing their valence electrons. As we can see, is 2 hydrogens that they are sharing their electrons right there, and 2 fluorines that they are sharing their electrons right there, as we can see. And that's why they are a non-polar covalent bonds.